Michael lived a quiet, exhausted life in a small apartment nestled in a worn-down part of the city. A single father, he worked long shifts at the local factory just to keep the lights on and food on the table. Since the day his wife passed away, his entire world had become his daughter, Lily, a bright-eyed 10-year-old with dreams far bigger than their small home. One evening, Lily tugged at his sleeve, her eyes filled with hope. She had found a flyer for the upcoming city chess tournament and wanted to enter. Her voice trembled with excitement, but Michael's heart sank. The entry fee, the travel, the time, it was all too much. He gave her a firm but gentle no. "It's expensive, baby. And chess. That's not going to change anything." But Lily didn't argue. Instead, she quietly nodded and returned to the little table near the window, where a second-hand chessboard waited, its corners chipped, some pieces mismatched. Every evening after homework, she'd sit there, moving the pieces with thoughtful precision, remembering the lessons her mother once taught her. Her mom had been a local chess champion, known more for her kindness than her wins. Lily wasn't playing to win. She was playing to feel close to her, to keep her memory alive on the board. Michael watched her from the kitchen, sighing, torn between pride and guilt. He didn't understand why the game meant so much. Not yet. But the board was already setting itself for a move that would soon change both of their lives. Michael had no idea that Lily had been quietly making plans behind his back. With a determination far beyond her years, she used the few dollars she had saved from helping neighbors, walking dogs, running errands, even selling lemonade, to secretly enter the city chess tournament. She'd found a kind local coach who, after hearing her story, waived the remaining entry fee and gave her a few tips during lunch breaks. The big day arrived. Lily wore her mother's old scarf for luck and took a borrowed bus ride to the towering venue downtown. The tournament was hosted inside a gleaming corporate building, sponsored by one of the city's most powerful businessmen, Mr. Whitmore, a billionaire CEO and a retired chess master. It was the kind of place where no one would expect to find a little girl with scuffed shoes and a hand-me-down sweater. Michael, meanwhile, came home early from work and discovered Lily was missing. When he saw the tournament flyer on her desk, panic turned to frustration. He rushed across town, anger simmering beneath his worry. But when he burst through the hall doors, everything stopped. There, at the center table, surrounded by stunned spectators, sat Lily, tiny, calm, and focused, across from none other than Mr. Whitmore himself. She had been selected at random for the ceremonial opening match. And as Michael stepped forward to call out her name, Lily made her first move on the board. The room went silent. And something in the CEO's face changed instantly. The room seemed to hold its breath. Lily's tiny fingers had just moved her knight in a bold, unexpected opening, an old variation almost no one used anymore. But Mr. Whitmore recognized it immediately. His hands froze above the board, his expression unreadable. He looked at Lily, his eyes clouding over, not with confusion, but with memory. "That move," he whispered, more to himself than to her. "I haven't seen that in years." Lily tilted her head, unsure whether she had done something wrong. "My mom taught it to me. She said it was her favorite way to surprise people." Mr. Whitmore blinked rapidly, swallowing hard. "Your mother, what was her name?" "Emily Rose," Lily replied softly. "She used to play here, before she got sick." The CEO's breath caught in his throat. Emily Rose. He knew that name. Years ago, she had beaten him in a community match when he was still a rising star. She was brilliant, kind, too. They had shared a love for strategy and laughter, and her passion for chess was unforgettable. But then she vanished from the circuit. He never knew why. Now, decades later, her daughter sat before him, carrying not just her legacy, but her exact opening strategy. And something else. Her calm. Her grace. Her spark. Tears welled in Mr. Whitmore's eyes. His heart, long hardened by boardrooms and billion-dollar decisions, cracked open with every move Lily made. This game wasn't about winning anymore. It was about remembering, and rediscovering something he thought he'd lost forever. After the match ended in a quiet draw, the crowd erupted in applause, not because of the result, but because of the rare beauty of the game. Mr. Whitmore stood and gently shook Lily's hand, visibly moved. Cameras flashed, but his focus was only on the small girl who had somehow reopened a chapter of his life he'd buried long ago. Michael, who had remained near the entrance, overwhelmed and unsure, finally stepped forward. He was still caught between pride and panic, unsure whether to scold Lily or hug her. But before he could speak, Mr. Whitmore approached him. "You're her father?" the CEO asked gently. Michael nodded, a little hesitant. "Yes, sir. And I'm sorry if she caused any trouble. I didn't know she..." Mr. Whitmore raised a hand. "No. Don't apologize. Your daughter reminded me why I ever sat at a chessboard in the first place." He paused, then continued, "Years ago, I lost someone close. My daughter. She used to play just like Lily, same opening, same little smile when she surprised me. I haven't touched a chessboard since she passed. Until today." Michael's face softened. His frustration melted into quiet understanding. This wasn't just a game. Lily's love for chess wasn't about competition, it was connection. To her mother. To people's hearts. To something bigger. He turned to Lily, crouched beside her, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry I tried to stop you. You didn't just play today, you reminded someone what it means to feel again." And for the first time in a long while, Lily saw her dad smile, with pride, not worry. A week later, the headlines read, "CEO launches chess scholarship after life-changing match with 10-year-old girl." At a small press conference held at the same corporate tower, Mr. Whitmore stood beside Lily and her father. Cameras rolled, but the moment felt deeply personal. "I thought I was giving up chess for good," Mr. Whitmore said, his voice thick with emotion. "But Lily reminded me that the game isn't about trophies or power. It's about connection. About heart. And about second chances." He then announced a new initiative, the Emily Rose Chess Fund, named after Lily's mother. It would provide resources, mentorship, and full scholarships for underprivileged children who dreamed of learning the game. Lily, clutching a new polished chess set gifted by the CEO, beamed beside her father. Michael, still in his work boots and jacket, couldn't stop smiling. Not because of the cameras, or the attention, but because for the first time in years, he saw a future he hadn't dared to imagine. He put his arm around Lily and whispered, "Your first move didn't just change the game, it changed our lives." As the press clapped and the lights dimmed, the three of them stood together, an unlikely trio bound by grief, memory, and a love for a quiet game that had spoken louder than words. And so, a single match became something more. A daughter honored her mother, a man rediscovered his heart, and a father learned that dreams, even the smallest ones, deserve to be played out. Sometimes, it only takes one move to start a whole new story.